One morning, Gregor Samsa awoke from uneasy dreams and found himself transformed into a giant insect in his bed. If it were you, what would happen when you woke and discovered you were in the form of a huge, ugly bug with a big domed belly and short twitching legs? It sounds absurd, and you might think you would never fall into such a bizarre tragedy. But wait, this is not from a horror film. It is from the masterpiece, The Metamorphosis, by the Austrian writer Franz Kafka. This classic short story has spread powerfully. It was one of the most influential works of the 20th century and is taught and studied in many Western universities. When I read it in middle school, I only felt that humans could be terrifyingly cruel. Later, after entering society and gaining more experience, I read it again and realized the author tells a strange tale in a flat tone. But when the cloak of fiction is removed, the truth behind it is heartbreaking. The insect lurking in the dark mirrors many adults. The transformation into a monstrous bug is no longer fanciful. It is the reality many of us have lived or are living. Hi, welcome to Love and Life, the channel that shares knowledge for holistic personal development through great books. Today, I share a piece titled, "Do Not Live Only to Please Others," through the Metamorphosis from Love and Life's Classics shelf. Please listen. People care only whether you fly high. They do not care whether you are tired. At dawn, while the sun still sleeps, Gregor rushes to brush his teeth and wash his face, and catches the 5 o'clock train to make it to work. Then he runs business errands everywhere. Every day, he is nearly exhausted by constant travel and non-stop changes of transport. He eats irregularly and sleeps too little. For him, this is routine. For 5 years in a row, Gregor lived like this. No vacations, no mistakes at work. Even when Gregor discovered he had turned into a giant bug, his first reaction was not panic and not a plea for help to turn back into a human. Instead, he had only one thought: I must not be late for work. Why did he think that? Because the mindset, I may be tired, but I must not collapse, had long been embedded in the mind of an adult. Like many of us who hurry in the morning, rush to be on time, and crawl home weary in the evening traffic, every day like a soulless machine grinding for work. This echoes Milan Kundera's words. No initiative, no creativity, no freedom of action, only orders and rules. Every time he stepped into the company, Gregor wanted to shout in his boss's face that he wanted to quit. Yet after hundreds of imagined scenes, reality stared him down, and he swallowed his feelings. He had to endure to pay his parents' debts. Perhaps 5 or 6 more years were needed. After his father's business failed, he had volunteered to be the family's pillar. Everyone depended on him. He was the pride of his parents and his sister. This pillar could not fall, and dared not fall. In real life, many are like him. Each morning, they wake with no retreat and no escape. They grit their teeth and keep working. If they quit, who would buy milk? Who would pay school fees? If they stopped working, who would pay hospital bills? If they asked for leave, who would cover the car loan and the mortgage? These pressures and responsibilities pin adults down. No matter how tired they are, they do not dare stop. But Gregor's situation today is different. His body is unwieldy. His quick hands are gone and replaced by tiny legs that flail. He needs 2 hours to flip himself from the bed. It is past 8, already an hour late. Outside, he hears his father's voice, and the company clerk arrives. In a workplace that values only productivity, there is little humanity and no tolerance for error. The company man came to check whether Gregor was faking illness. When the door opened and he saw Gregor transformed, he panicked and ran. Behind him, Gregor begged, "I will change clothes immediately, finish packing the samples, and depart at once. I am loyal to my boss. My parents and my sister need me. I need this job to pay our debts, and only work gives me a way out. Please do not be too hard on me." But his voice now was only the sound of an insect, and no one understood. Seeing the company representative flee, Gregor despaired. His despair is no different from 21st century workers who are dismissed for being sick. I once saw an employee with 5 years at a firm and more than 3,000 overtime hours. He gave everything. When diagnosed with a terminal illness, the firm maneuvered to let him go. There is a saying, people care only whether you fly high. They do not care whether you are tired. No one sympathizes with why Gregor became a bug, and no one saves him. People care first about their own interests. When we first step into society, we brim with dreams and expect that hard work will quickly bring promotion and money. After years of tumbling about, we must admit most of us are ordinary, and most jobs are for survival. Even if you strive and briefly achieve good results and high pay, as you age and your health declines, the spinning wheel will throw you out with no way back. The company can continue without you, but if you lose yourself and your health, you may never recover them. As I have said, any job that exists to make a living is not worth dying for. First, love your health and love yourself. Do not live to please others. Gregor's becoming a giant bug terrified the company man and terrified his family. His father could not hide his disgust. He stamped and drove Gregor back to his room with a baton and a newspaper. His mother jumped up in fear and cried for help. His sister sobbed in despair. Gregor crept back into his room. He understood their fear in the face of something so abnormal, but behind it lay a deeper fear. Gregor had fallen from family pillar to family burden. He lost his job. He could no longer support them. Their savings could last only 2 years. When the pillar fell, each member had to fend for themselves. The father took a menial bank job. The mother sewed underwear for others. The sister abandoned her musical dream and worked as a shopgirl. Everyone became busy. Now Gregor truly became a bug. Indeed, there are unfilial children, and there are parents who do not truly love their children. People used to holding an umbrella over the family forget that the rain can pour and soak their own heads. I once saw a Singapore short film called A Father's Promise. The protagonist is an office worker who leaves early and returns late. He always answers family calls. He never fails to send living expenses to his parents. But his father always calculates and complains when the amount is less than last month. When his mother suddenly fell ill, he rushed to the hospital and begged for help, yet could not arrange a good room. His wife wanted a trip. He looked at the brochure in silence. Finally, he said, "It is too expensive. Can we go somewhere nearer?" The fridge needed repair. His mother's phone needed replacing. His wife's due date approached, and they had to prepare for the baby. He worked so hard, yet he received his father's displeasure, his mother's silence, and his wife's disappointment. Finally, he confessed with pain, "I am sorry. I cannot give you the best. I did not become the person you expected from birth onward. we bear many expectations. Parents want us to study hard, score high, get a high-paying job, and find a good spouse. Bosses want us to work diligently and give our all to the company. Lovers want us to understand and be present on demand. These expectations are chains that shackle us. If we live to satisfy them, we soon lose our way and our true self. The novel Everything I Never Told You says, the goal of life is to escape others' expectations and find our true self. Honestly, it is hard to escape expectations completely, but we cannot live inside them forever. You must face them. An expectation is a blessing others give you. It should not become your life's aim. The only thing we must do is work for what we truly desire. Ask yourself, do you care what others think of you? Do you crave others' expectations to inflate your pride and to feel you exist in their eyes? If yes, ask again. Why allow others to define your value through their expectations? You have only one life. If you strive only to win admiration, you will lose many meanings that belong to you. There is a saying, to manipulate others is a sin. To be manipulated is a misfortune. Do not expect from others, and do not live inside anyone's expectation. Do not lose your direction to serve someone else's validation. The heart's path is courage. Dare to be disliked. Dare to live for yourself. Love yourself. This is where we should go. Do not overvalue your place in any relationship. When Gregor turned from an umbrella for the family into a bug in their eyes, he became a time bomb. The relationships shifted. For the first month, they cared for him. When nothing improved, they cared perfunctorily. Each day, he received leftovers and a worse attitude. No one knew or understood Gregor's pain. He did not blame his family. He still longed to return to the sky and be their pillar. When he tried to protect them once more, he lost everything. One day, the lodgers asked his sister to play violin. They smoked and listened without interest and grew impatient. Gregor pitied his sister and labored to pull at her dress to urge her to play in her room. But he revealed himself. The lodgers recoiled and demanded to terminate the lease. The family's patience broke. The sister, once the kindest to him, furious and ashamed, locked him in his room. Before the door closed, Gregor saw his family for the last time. His sister clung to his father's neck. His mother was asleep. The three of them were calm and warm, as if he had never existed. This sight shattered his last hope. A writer said, "Only when you are in the lowliest place do you have the best chance to see human truth." Gregor had treated his family with full sincerity. He believed sacrifice for family needs no return. But he forgot human nature is selfish. Any relationship, no matter how deep, can change. The next day, the maid found a dead bug on the floor. Gregor had died in loneliness. This ending teaches us not to overvalue any relationship, especially those built and maintained with money, or those founded on endless one-way giving. There is a psychological effect called the over-justification effect. Moderate rewards motivate, excessive rewards reduce interest. This applies to emotion. Appropriate giving nourishes a relationship. Excessive effort turns your giving into something unnecessary. As the author of Wuthering Heights advised, love yourself. Do not pour all your love, soul, and strength like a gift and waste them where they are not needed by those who look down on you. In society, each of us is the protagonist of our own script. Do not try to be the hero in someone else's play. Misfortune comes from losing yourself. Gregor's misfortune is turning into a bug. More miserable still, when his life changed, no one accepted him, even though he had sacrificed everything. Why did such misfortune befall a devoted man? Was it a cruel company or a cold family? The first reason is that he had long abandoned himself. On the surface, he had no choice but to grind for debts. But young and full of energy, he lost the courage to seek a better job to pay them. He did not know how to find joy in the cracks of a working life. As the author said, fear of losing a job ruins character. A life like his may sound stable, but in the busy grind, he let timidity strip his freedom. He made his life a prison. As for the family, their difficulties did not mean helplessness. They were still capable of earning even in debt. Yet Gregor crowned himself the supreme pillar, paying all debts, buying a fine house, fulfilling his sister's music dream. These went beyond the mutual dues of family and bred habits of expecting, leaning, and exploiting in the name of family. When you center your life on others' needs, your value depends on their demands and judgments. The most dangerous thing is that losing yourself makes people forget daily reflection. One day, they abandon fighting distortion and become slaves in others' lives. For Gregor, family acceptance was the only reason to endure being a bug and keep living. But the night they abandoned him, the man who lived for others lost the meaning of existence. Bitterly, after his death, the family breathed with relief. Worse, the story does not end with grief. His parents placed new hopes on the sister. Seeing her young and vigorous, I thought, perhaps one day she will become a giant butterfly, and then have her wings broken if she lives inside others' expectations as her brother did, and strives only to please her parents. In life, we may not turn into bugs, yet many of us are no different from Gregor. We live to satisfy others. Transformation may be a punishment for Gregor. It is also a warning for us all. Avoid those who treat what you do as natural. The meaning of our existence is not to become who others need. What we give is not to be taken for granted. The most important thing is that the values you create shape a life that is yours. Think of others, but live for yourself. This is the strongest armor you can wear. Remember, in this life, we are not the next chapter of our parents, not servants of our children, not someone else's shadow. What matters most is to face your true self. When you begin to live true to yourself, your life becomes confident and free. I end with words from the writer Duong Dan. We once longed for recognition from the world outside. Finally, we realize this world is our own and has nothing to do with others. May you and I live by our own light, step forward bravely, and meet the better self within. Thank you for listening. If this video is helpful, please share it with those who need it. Support Love and Life with a like and a follow, and turn on the bell to catch the newest videos. Thank you again, and see you in the next video.